Lee Henson here, President, Founder of Agile Dad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. So without any further ado, let's get started. Today, I wanted to talk to you about ScrumMaster burnout, a topic not a lot of people like to talk about. Many times people say, well, I'm a Scrum Master and I'm also the X. I'm a Scrum Master, but I also write code. I'm the Scrum Master, but I also am the product owner. I'm the Scrum Master and I also have other responsibilities. What's really, really interesting is that you can't really do the Scrum Master role effectively and do a whole lot of other things. And it's quickly discovered that this leads to burnout and that we have many Scrum Masters who are leaving organizations, who are going back to doing to whatever they were doing before. And I think there's some key things that I said to myself, I'm going to start asking some students. So I started asking some students and I compiled a list of different things that people told me. And the question was, I wish I would have known this a long time ago. I wish I would have known this when I became a Scrum Master, right? What was some advice? What is some advice that you would give yourself when you first became a Scrum Master? If you could give yourself some advice now, what would it be? And right out of the gate, I love my first one. There was a young lady who wrote in and she says, breathe. Just breathe. She says, there's so many times where you're so consumed with what you're doing that you forget the primary thing that you need to do, which is breathe. Or another comment that was made was that it's about your account. Yeah, all of us have just like a checking account or a savings account. We can make deposits and take out withdrawals, but your energy and your time both fall into those categories, right? So I think that sometimes we don't realize that those resources, proper use of the word, are limited. We need to make sure that we're managing and governing our energy and our time wisely. So that's a good piece of advice. Another piece of advice: keep your work and private life in balance. My goodness, this has to do with time, but it's a matter of don't miss out on daddy daughter donut day to attend a daily stand up, right? Those kind of things. And you'd be surprised how many people don't take heed to those simple things. Another one that I wish I would have known a long time ago, this is a great one. It says, remember, you can ask for help from anyone you see necessary. It doesn't make you weak to ask for help. Wow, what good advice, right? I think that sometimes we as a Scrum Master feel like since we're the Scrum Master, that our job is to resolve everyone's impediments or solve everyone's problems. When in actuality, our job is to help them identify their problems and to help lead them to a solution so that they can solve their problems, right? So, very, very interesting. Another one was you don't have to be sick in order to take a break, right? This is that whole energy thing. Don't wait until you fall ill from running yourself ragged to decide that you need some downtime. Find a way to take some downtime now. I think that if you incorporate the downtime early, that this is going to help you really perform better later. How about this one? Listen to your body and take care of yourself. Your body doesn't lie. Okay. It doesn't mean that if you have a rest, you're lazy. You're just recharging your batteries. It doesn't mean that, hey, if your body's telling you you probably shouldn't be eating anymore, then you probably shouldn't be eating anymore. If your body tells you go for a walk, go for a walk. I think too often we don't listen to our own inner sanctum. We don't listen to our own body and we don't do those things. So in order to be a good Scrum Master, you kind of, we teach and preach for everyone else to listen. It's time for us to listen as well. Okay. Another one. We need to remember that some results of what we do will only be seen a long time later, and that's okay. Everything that you do doesn't instantly make a change or cause instant gratification inside of the workplace. Sometimes you're planting a seed for something that's going to be a long haul change. And I think that sometimes we as Scrum Masters get so hung up on wanting to see the results of our work that we don't realize just how important it is to plant the seed knowing that we won't see the results of our work. Okay. Here's another, and this is one that I understood that I was so proud when one of my coaches figured this out. Ready? Your experience is priceless. I had someone ask me, or ask one of my coaches rather, they asked me this in the early days of my career too. How can you charge so much for your coaching? How can you possibly charge so much per hour for that? And they're looking at it as, an hourly wage type thing, and comparing it to someone who works at a fast food restaurant. And I tell them what they don't realize is that you're not paying for that person to do that for this number of hours at that rate. In essence, what you're paying for is all the history and experience and build up and education and situations and things that they went through to get them to this point to be that knowledgeable, right? Same is true with like a doctor or a dentist. People don't realize the countless hours that goes into, learning those professions and doing those things and practicing so that you can get to the point where your experience is priceless. Okay. Okay. Another, we each have our own working style. The way that we work is different from everybody else. Yes, just because one Scrum Master behaves and works and handles meetings a certain way doesn't mean everyone in the organization is going to do that. Let's just face reality. We're all human and we're all different. So I think that if we look at it from that perspective, we'll understand that we're not trying to be like someone else. We're just trying to be a better us. And that reminds me of that line from Wrestling with Our Family, or Fighting with Our Family, rather, the wrestling movie, where they encounter The Rock and they ask, "What can I do to be like The Rock?" And he basically shuts them both down and says, "Stop trying to be like me and be a better you." And I just thought, wow, that's prolific, right? That's a good answer. Okay. So this next one is one that I've been working on over the past year, and it's meet the team where they are. I set some pretty high expectations for my teams and for my groups, and I want them to achieve agile success. But sometimes I forget that I'm light years ahead of where they are, and I expect them to make these huge changes. It's important for me to meet them where they are and respect the pace of the change, right? It's not always going to be overnight. Okay. This next one is great advice for a scrum master or a coach, and it's choose the right distance with your team. You know when you need to be more hands on and closer, and when you need to step back and let them figure things out. As they go through the Tupman model, forming, storming, norming, and performing, it's important for them to understand that it's good to have you there, but it's also good to have you not there, right? Okay, when it comes to everyone else, we already realized that we're all different, but we also need to remember that everyone else is unique too. Even if somebody reminds you of someone that you knew from your past, or if someone reminds you of behavior that you've seen before, and you start identifying behavioral patterns, you need to give them the benefit of the doubt and come in without bias. That is not an easy thing to do, but it is something you need to do, right? Let's see. So, how about this? Become comfortable with the idea that you will become upset at some point or another. And it doesn't mean you need to be all out angry. You just need to learn how to be comfortable with being upset and understand that no one caused you to feel that way, that this is a reaction that you've had to an event that's happened. And you can choose to react differently if you program yourself to do it. By being straightforward and by being an excellent communicator, you can become more comfortable with how you feel and sharing that with others. Okay, this one is another one that I thought was very prolific. It says, "You're not responsible for everything." Good answer. I've heard so many scrum masters, "Oh, the water cooler ran out of water. I'll take the blame for that." Or, "Oh, this happened. I'll take the blame for that." And you can't just be the end all be all responsible for everything. If you are, then you're going to be gone very quickly and you're going to miss the key things that you should really be responsible for. I think we need to have some mutual accountability in the building and let people understand that being mutually accountable is the new in thing. Okay. Let's see. How about challenge your actions and check and see if they focus on growth or if they're just there to fill, check a box, right? And I think that we need to promote individual growth, team growth, organizational growth, and really understand that we have to have every action has a reaction, and we have to understand the reaction that we're trying to get. We need to focus on the outcome and really understand how teams and organizations flow and really challenge them to grow. Okay. Another one. You don't have to be liked by everyone. This is a good one. I have some scrum masters that really feel like it's their life's goal to have everyone in the company like them. And I'm just like, why? I'd almost rather not be liked and be respected than to be liked by everyone. And it's not saying you have to be unreasonable or intentionally belligerent, but it is saying that it's important for you to gain certain focus with the team members and to be able to react with them and interact with them in a way that's conducive to helping everyone be better, right? And we also have to understand that people make mistakes. I think that's a big part of it too, right? The only way we'll ever learn is we go through and make mistakes. So you're not going to be liked and you're going to make mistakes. Okay. This one is the one for me. You don't have to be right all the time. Although I can honestly say that I'm correct 99.876% of the time, humility is not my thing. I can tell you that I don't have to be right all the time. And this took me a long time to get to, but I'm there now. And I don't necessarily push that I'm right all the time. And I love to hear input from others. I'm starting to do the Nelson Mandela thing where I just stay quiet and listen to people. And then after I hear their valuable observations, I can provide mine. Okay, treat others as you want to be treated. That's an obvious, that's a gimme. I'm not going to go there. Just do the same as what you expect from others. If you expect others to meet commitments, you need to meet those commitments, right? How about this? Just be authentic. Wow, that's a powerful one. It's a short one, but it's probably the most powerful on the whole list. I think that if you're just authentically being yourself and putting yourself out there, people are going to like you, and a team's going to give their most because you're being authentic with them. And I think the biggest one in the whole bunch, the number one on the list, would be empathetic to yourself. It's just as important as being empathetic to others. Understand what drives you, what motivates you. Understand what you don't like. Understand what demotivates you. Find ways to show yourself some self love, some self improvement. Take a spa day, go for a walk, do whatever you love, go throw axes in a bar. I don't know, people do that. It's just whatever you need to do to get that positive energy flowing and whatever you need to do to be a great scrum master. I don't want to turn these on to an inspirational poster or anything, but I think that it's high time that scrum masters stop dwelling in negativity, if you will, and start finding ways to uplift each other. So that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, we encourage you, if you have a topic you want to hear, write to us, learnmoreatagiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. Stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.